virtually. Temperature checks will be conducted upon event check-in. All event attendees, vaccinated and unvaccinated, will be asked to wear a mask. The health and safety of all of our guests, speakers, and vendors are of the utmost importance. Thank you for allowing us to make sure that we are all healthy and safe.
Hello and welcome to Stewart Speakers 2021-2022 Speaker Series, powered by IUPUI. I am Matthew Stewart, President and Founder of Stewart Speakers.
And I am Kimberly Bostic, Board Chair and Managing Director at Stewart Speakers.
After a very long year, we are excited to be able to put on live Stewart Speaker events.
The disruption of COVID-19 impacted our ability to have live in-person events, like many of the other organizations here in the city.
As we move forward in providing you an outstanding Stewart Speaker experience, we want you to know that your health and safety are of the utmost importance to us.
For this reason, Stewart Speakers has initiated a low to no contact ticket purchase, event registration, and check-in process. Additionally, COVID-19 protocols will be in place at all speaker events to provide a safe, healthy environment for our guests, speakers, and our vendors.
Please make sure you are familiar with our safety protocols. If at any time you need assistance to complete a purchase registration, please contact our office at 317-297-2905. Our team is more than happy to assist you.
Again, welcome to the Stewart Speakers 2021-2022 Speaker Series powered by IUPUI. We look forward to bringing you engaging conversations that help improve the quality of life for us all. All event attendees will be asked to complete a brief COVID questionnaire, which will include the following questions. In the past 14 days, have you been in contact with anyone who has exhibited COVID-19 symptoms? Have you been in contact with anyone who has tested positive for COVID-19? Have you exhibited any COVID-19 symptoms? Or have you tested positive for COVID-19? Anyone responding yes to any of the above noted questions will be directed to participate in our event virtually. Temperature checks will be conducted upon event check-in. All event attendees, vaccinated and unvaccinated, will be asked to wear a mask. The health and safety of all of our guests, speakers, and vendors are of the utmost importance. Thank you for allowing us to make sure that we are all healthy and safe.
Hello and welcome to Stewart Speakers 2021-2022 Speaker Series, powered by IUPUI. I am Matthew Stewart, President and founder of Stewart Speakers.
And I am Kimberly Bostic, Board Chair and Managing Director at Stewart Speakers.
After a very long year, we are excited to be able to put on live Stewart Speaker events.
The disruption of COVID-19 impacted our ability to have live, in-person events, like many of the other organizations here in the city.
As we move forward in providing you an outstanding Stewart Speaker experience, we want you to know that your health and safety are of the utmost importance to us.
For this reason, Stewart Speakers has initiated a low to no contact ticket purchase, event registration, and check-in process. Additionally, COVID-19 protocols will be in place at all speaker events to provide a safe, healthy environment for our guests, speakers, and our vendors.
Please make sure you are familiar with our safety protocols. If at any time you need assistance to complete a purchase registration, please contact our office at 317-297-2905. Our team is more than happy to assist you.
Again, welcome to the Stewart Speakers 2021-2022 Speaker Series powered by IUPUI. We look forward to bringing you engaging conversations that help improve the quality of life for us all. All event attendees will be asked to complete a brief COVID questionnaire, which will include the following questions. In the past 14 days, have you been in contact with anyone who has exhibited COVID-19 symptoms? Have you been in contact with anyone who has tested positive for COVID-19? Have you exhibited any COVID-19 symptoms? Or have you tested positive for COVID-19? Anyone responding yes to any of the above noted questions will be directed to participate in our event virtually. Temperature checks will be conducted upon event check-in. All event attendees, vaccinated and unvaccinated, will be asked to wear a mask. The health and safety of all of our guests, speakers, and vendors are of the utmost importance. Thank you for allowing us to make sure that we are all healthy and safe.
Hello and welcome to Stewart Speakers 2021-2022 Speaker Series, powered by IUPUI. I am Matthew Stewart, President and founder of Stewart Speakers.
And I am Kimberly Bostic, Board Chair and Managing Director at Stewart Speakers.
After a very long year, we are excited to be able to put on live Stewart Speaker events.
The disruption of COVID-19 impacted our ability to have live, in-person events, like many of the other organizations here in the city.
As we move forward in providing you an outstanding Stewart Speaker experience, we want you to know that your health and safety are of the utmost importance to us.
For this reason, Stewart Speakers has initiated a low to no contact ticket purchase, event registration, and check-in process. Additionally, COVID-19 protocols will be in place at all speaker events to provide a safe, healthy environment for our guests, speakers, and our vendors.
Please make sure you are familiar with our safety protocols. If at any time you need assistance to complete a purchase registration, please contact our office at 317-297-2905. Our team is more than happy to assist you.
Again, welcome to the Stewart Speakers 2021-2022 Speaker Series powered by IUPUI. We look forward to bringing you engaging conversations that help improve the quality of life for us all. All event attendees will be asked to complete a brief COVID questionnaire, which will include the following questions. In the past 14 days, have you been in contact with anyone who has exhibited COVID-19 symptoms? Have you been in contact with anyone who has tested positive for COVID-19? Have you exhibited any COVID-19 symptoms? Or have you tested positive for COVID-19? Anyone responding yes to any of the above noted questions will be directed to participate in our event virtually. Temperature checks will be conducted upon event check-in. All event attendees, vaccinated and unvaccinated, will be asked to wear a mask. The health and safety of all of our guests, speakers, and vendors are of the utmost importance. Thank you for allowing us to make sure that we are all healthy and safe.
Hello and welcome to Stewart Speakers 2021-2022 Speaker Series, powered by IUPUI. I am Matthew Stewart, President and Founder of Stewart Speakers.
And I am Kimberly Bostic, Board Chair and Managing Director at Stewart Speakers.
After a very long year, we are excited to be able to put on live Stewart Speaker events.
The disruption of COVID-19 impacted our ability to have live, in-person events, like many of the other organizations here in the city.
As we move forward in providing you an outstanding Stewart Speaker experience, we want you to know that your health and safety are of the utmost importance to us.
For this reason, Stewart Speakers has initiated a low to no contact ticket purchase, event registration, and check-in process. Additionally, COVID-19 protocols will be in place at all speaker events to provide a safe, healthy environment for our guests, speakers, and our vendors.
Please make sure you are familiar with our safety protocols. If at any time you need assistance to complete a purchase registration, please contact our office at 317-297-2905. Our team is more than happy to assist you.
Again, welcome to the Steward Speakers 2021-2022 Speaker Series powered by IUPUI. We look forward to bringing you engaging conversations that help improve the quality of life for us all.
There's a huge difference between being a grown male and being a man. Every man that you meet is a male, but not every male that you meet is a man. A man looks to be of service. A grown male looks to be served.
Good evening. I'm going to say that again. Good evening. Welcome to the 2021-2022 Steward Speakers Series. We are excited to be here this evening. We are so grateful for the opportunity. Thank you, Dr. Lorenzo, for hosting us this evening. Give a special thank you and a shout out to Ivy Tech and the culinary team. Thank you so much. For 36 years, Steward Speakers has continued to bring world-renowned minority speakers to the city of Indianapolis, to our beloved city. Speakers that look like us, that have experience similar to ours, and that can engage in meaningful conversation and dialogue about topics and interests that are important to us. Tonight is no different. We are committed to not only have meaningful conversations, but to engage our educational community so that we can continue to provoke educational, racially conscious curriculum. But tonight we're going to also talk about morally conscious curriculum. And we've engaged our high school and middle school students this morning. They were on fire. They had read the book and made sure that we knew it. And I think tonight will be no different. We've got, of course, a lot of programmatic people that'll come up, and we have someone that will introduce our speaker, so I won't steal his thunder. But I just want to say that you are in for a wonderful evening. I do want to take this moment to welcome our virtual audience. We do have our guests online that are participating. This year has been a whirlwind of a year, not just to us, but like everyone else. And so this year we have engaged in a hybrid discussion. And so we will be engaging that audience. You will see we are recording this particular audience live. And so we are streaming that through our broadcast. You will notice breaks as you have in the previous events. And so just bear with us and remember, things have changed, and so we've got to deliver our message in a new way. I also, before I go, want to make sure that I personally thank our sponsors. Our title sponsor, IUPUI, U.S. Customs. You know, it's one thing to have great sponsors. It's something else to have sponsors that are in the thick of it with you. And Darlene, I just want to say thank you so much for all you've done for more than 30 years. You have been a sponsor, and we just appreciate the love and commitment and for believing in us. Thank you. CICF, Wabash, Steve, I saw you somewhere. There you are. You allowed us to launch our first engaging conversation with students, with Dr. Barber, and it was an amazing discussion. We'll continue to do that, and I think that we're on to something new as we continue to force the issue of making sure that our students are engaged in education, that they can think, they can understand, and hopefully they're provoked to do something today to make a difference. Thank you. We're going to have, after me, we'll have a short message from our sponsors, and then followed by that, we will have the amazing Dr. Welding that'll get up and give remarks from IUPUI. He's the Vice Chancellor of our Student Affairs, but then he'll also have an introduction to our speaker. I want to make sure that you remember we always want there to be an engaging conversation. So as we are going through with the program, please remember to write your questions down. And when we come to that segment, be ready to come to the mic or provide your questions, whichever you feel more comfortable. I will remind everyone, we have asked everyone to wear their mask, regardless of their vaccination status. And we also will be practicing social distance. So we won't have speaker pictures and engagement like we normally do. So we just ask that you respect that space this time as we are still getting through this COVID season. All right? Let's get started. A word from our sponsors. Thank you.
To my children, and the children of this city, to the overlooked and forgotten, to the lost and those never to be found, this is for all of you. I know things seem upside down. Every week births a new hashtag and a debate about humanity. There are a million voices screaming into the void, and you don't know which to hold on to. May these words comfort you and be a reminder that you are the treasure. Some people may weaponize your skin because they refuse to acknowledge your greatness. They will fear you and your strength because you are a mirror to their darkest secret and a key to a history they'd rather lock away. Know this. Soaked in your pores is a lineage of survival. A lineage that was carried across oceans, traversed through deserts, and crossed mountains. No matter if by choice, by force, or tasked with building an empire. Remember, the same sun that shone down on your ancestors warmed you as well. Your skin is not a weapon, but a reflection of the sun's reach of days past and days coming, a gift for you, the treasure. Some people will forget what it's like to be young. They'll place expectations on you that they don't adhere to themselves. They will lose sight of your humanity and try to deny you your right to exist. Some may even forget their oaths to protect and only serve those that look like them. Know this. Your mistakes and the mistakes of others do not determine who you will always be. Remember, you are more than mugshots and hashtags. You are more than a suspect and excuses used to profile. You are worthy of the joy that comes from learning from your mistakes. Mistakes that create opportunities for growth, especially for you, the treasured. Some will try to silence you as you speak out. They will try to burden you with teaching them about how they have harmed you. They will pretend history does not exist and turn the other cheek when it gets uncomfortable. Know this. In you lies the pulse of a movement started generations ago. Your words expand into the language of revolution, and silence has done nothing to create change. Remember to make sure that when you speak, you mean it. Let the words that cross your mouth speak the spirit of your soul, a call to the ancestors that see you for who you are, the treasured. Some will see you and do everything in their power to ensure that you do not suffer for their misdeeds. They will take it to the streets and to the State House to fight for you. They'll bring light to the shadows so you won't have to. They will exist to show you no matter your gender presentation or sexual orientation, you can have a life full of joy, love, and happiness. Know that you are not alone. And many of us are fighting to give you a life better than we could have ever dreamed. Know you are more than your ancestors' struggles, but also our wildest dreams. Remember that you deserve to find your passion, to know the beauty of feeling unconditional love, to find the ways you are soft, not just strong. In you lies the spirit of Drajon Reed and Breonna Taylor, Fannie Lou Hamer and Shirley Grisham, Bayard Rustin and Marsha P. Johnson. You are earth guardians and water protectors. You are the creators and innovators. In you marches the spirit of Stonewall and Standing Rock, Tiananmen Square, and those marching in Portland and Minneapolis. Standing with those fighting today and whose shoulders we all stand upon. From the backyards to the State House, from the schools to the hospitals, from cries on the street to the whispers at home, every day, the truth is taking a stand and finding its power. Things are changing. And they're changing for you because you are the gift of life renewed. You truly are the treasured.
Hi, my name is Nasser Peydar, and I'm the Chancellor of IUPUI. For the past 6 years, IUPUI has been a proud title sponsor for the Steward Speaker Series. We are in this together because we both believe in engaging the community in conversations that shape our society. Just like this speaker series, IUPUI makes a difference in people's lives. We educate and graduate thousands of students every year. In fact, this fall, 40% of beginning students at IUPUI are students of color. 40%, our highest percentage ever. We also partner with our neighbors on transformational projects like the historic renovation of the Madam Walker Legacy Center. We live in the heart of this community, and we are part of this community. IUPUI is excited to work hand in hand with the Steward Speaker Series to welcome thought leaders who raise awareness, advance knowledge, and enhance our community. Congratulations to Steward Speaker Series for more than 30 years of impact.
Good evening and welcome. My name is Eric Weldy and I serve as Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs at IUPUI. What a joy it is for me to be with you this evening representing IUPUI and our Chancellor, Nasser Peydar. Please know that Chancellor Peydar sends his regrets. He wishes he could be with us this evening, and I'm glad we had an opportunity to hear from him tonight on the screen. Chancellor Peydar is set to retire on March 1st after a long and lustrous career at IUPUI spanning over 30 years, with the last 6.5 years of his tenure serving as Chancellor of IUPUI and Executive Vice President of Indiana University. While we are saddened to see him retire, we celebrate his legacy. It was under Chancellor Peydar's leadership in 2016, as he noted, that IUPUI's partnership with Steward Speakers began. IUPUI is proud to serve as the title sponsor of the annual Steward Speakers Lecture Series and has been the title sponsor for the past 6 years. IUPUI's commitment to the annual Steward Speakers Lecture Series is one example of its long-standing belief in staying true to its mission. IUPUI's mission is to advance the state of Indiana and the intellectual growth of its citizens to the highest levels nationally and internationally through research and creative activity, teaching and learning, and civic engagement. IUPUI promotes the educational, cultural, and economic development of Central Indiana and beyond through innovative collaborations, external partnerships, and a strong commitment to diversity. For example, as Chancellor Peydar noted, 40% of our new or beginning students at IUPUI are students of color this fall, the highest percentage of any entering cohort in the university's history. Also this fall, IUPUI enrolled 27,690 students from 142 countries, 50 states, and all 92 Indiana counties. In 2021, Insight into Diversity magazine named IUPUI one of the recipients of its Higher Education Excellence in Diversity Award. 2021 marked the 7th year in a row IUPUI has received this distinction. At IUPUI, we have also partnered with our neighbors on transformational projects, as was noted by Chancellor Padar, like the renovation of Madam Walker Legacy Center. And if you haven't had an opportunity to visit the Madam Walker Legacy Center, please do. It is a beautiful place. It was beautiful before, and now it's just been taken to new heights. Yes, thank you. Yes, IUPUI's commitment to diversity is at the core of its mission. Steward Speakers offers IUPUI an opportunity to not only remain true to its mission, but work side by side in bringing the gaps that exist between people of different races, ethnicities, genders, and generations. What a wonderful collaborative partner we have in the Steward Speakers organization. Thank you for all you do for the Indianapolis community. Yes. And to all of you, once again, welcome to tonight's Steward Speakers Series event. Now it is my pleasure to also introduce tonight's featured guests. Dondre Whitfield fulfills his life purpose by sharing his essence with others. As a loving husband, devoted father, engaged mentor, and as a skilled and passionate actor. A veteran, multiple Emmy-nominated actor, he is popularly known for his role as Remy Newell in the award-winning television drama series, Queen Sugar. Dondre's deep commitment to activism and community reinvestment compels him to serve through mentorship opportunities, inspiring men to discover their paths toward healthy manhood is one of his most gratifying experiences. In his latest book, Male versus Man, he discusses the importance of the family dynamic, honoring women, teaching children, and defining the modern man. Dondre reveals how faith serves as the divine model for manhood. He equips his hearers to become real men rather than simply, quote unquote, grown males. This writing delivers an uplifting playbook for men who want to level up. It will help men and women alike understand what real manhood is, based on biblical wisdom as well as hard-earned lessons from someone who has been there. The Manhood Tour is a global movement committed to awakening the consciousness of men, delivering the key principles for effective and impactful leadership, and teaching them how to tap into their talents and live them in the highest degree. Words possess the power to bridge, calm, heal, transform, and deliver. Mr. Dondre Whitfield speaks, and his essence releases the wisdom, practical strategies, and timeless answers that bring the life as well as relational healing and discovery moments men and women have been longing to know. He shares from his wealth of life experiences that span across family dynamics, career, his inner life, and its power to influence the course of the collective male conscience through his willingness to share. So now, without further delay, please join me in giving a very warm Indianapolis welcome for Mr. Dondre Whitfield.
Thank you, bro. Please sit down. Please sit down. Everybody sit down. Thank you so much. I feel like I just got eulogized. I was like, am I dead? I was like, are we here? Thank you, Brother Matthew Stewart Speakers, for having me here. Madam Darlene Sedgwick from U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, who have collaborated to bring me here. People who really know me know that this really is at the core of what my life is about. My acting is a very, 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 very small part of who I am. It's what I do. It's not who I am. My acting gave me a platform. And God asked me, what do you do now with the platform that I helped to give you? This is what I do with my platform. I spoke to some students earlier today, and it was awesome because I looked at every single one of them and I saw my sons. I have a 13-year-old son, and there were boys in there as young as 14 years old. My daughter is 17 years old. So I had them as old as 18 in the room. So I saw my kids. I saw me at that age, knowing what I needed to hear at that age in order to be able to turn on the light of who I would ultimately become as a man. This is, however, a completely different room because we don't have any 14 and 18-year-olds in here. You all look 18, but your experience is completely different. And so now what I see is, I see myself and my wife. I see my mother. I see my father. May he rest in peace. As a speaker, it's very difficult for me, let me strike that. It's impossible for me to know what I'm going to say before I come into a room because I have no idea what my audience is going to look like. When I walk in, my audience dictates what my messaging will be. A good speaker will do that. A speaker who just says, okay, this is what I'm going to do and delivers it to that audience is struggling because it takes a lot of courage to go, okay, I'm going to make a shift right now based on who is in this room. Based on what God is putting on my heart, hey, this is the message that you need to deliver right now. So me having a conscious awareness or an intention about delivering a specific message and then coming in and taking the pulse of the room, now I got to make a shift. I see a lot of my sisters in here. And when I say sisters, I am a godly man. So I'm not talking about color, I'm talking about consciousness. Let's be very clear. I am more of a human being having a human experience than anything else. Yeah, please applaud that because we need that. I see some of my white brothers and sisters in here. So when I say brothers and sisters, you too. Okay? I wrote this book. Be still. I wrote this book as a result of not receiving the messaging of manhood when I was a kid. I grew up in Brooklyn in an environment that was very hostile, very violent. My father was in and out of jail my entire life, particularly the years where you're formative, where you're forming, like, who do I ultimately become? Because what we're looking for every single day is a model that we can mirror. Who is that? Who is that? In a household where you are a young male, and your mother is the model, that is extremely confusing. To all of my sisters who are, first of all, before we go, okay, I love every single one of you. Did you hear me when I say that? Okay, so this is your brother speaking now. We're going to have some real conversation, okay? Let's converse about, first, by a show of hands, who all is raising, my sisters, who all is raising a son? Who all is raising a son without their biological father? Okay. I will never forget, one day I was in a room, and this is pre-COVID, I'm in a room and it was jam-packed. There's like 600 people in there and 599 of them were women. Show of hands. How many of you all are raising sons? How many of you all are raising sons on your own? How many of you all think that you can raise your son to be a man? Now, you know I got to raise him to be a man. Girl, you know we got to do that. And because who gonna do? His daddy ain't gonna do it. He ain't nowhere. Girl, you know we got to do that. That's what we do. Because that's just what we do. And they laughed and they kikied and they, all of that. And then I said, okay, I have a 16-year-old daughter. Can I teach my daughter how to be a woman? Now, you know, he crazy. You know, he can't raise that girl to be no woman. He got to be crazy. Because he can't do what we do. That's just crazy. He can't raise her to be no woman. He ain't no woman. And I just sat there like a loving big brother. And after about a good 15 seconds, they got it. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. How is it, and forgive me because I can't do this. How is it that as a woman, I can raise my son to be a man, but this capable man cannot raise his daughter to be a woman? You see where we are? They were absolutely, I cannot raise my daughter to be a woman. You know why? Because I'm not a woman. If you want to become, we walked through here and I saw all this food being prepared by chefs, training to be better chefs. When you want to become a chef, you get under the tutelage of a chef. Come on, come on. If you want to become a pilot, look, it's not enough that I'm passionate about flying. I love to fly. Man, I love flying. Yeah, I want to become a pilot. Hey, I can teach you how to become a pilot. You can. How? Man, I love flying. Say what? Have you ever flown a plane? No, but I know I've been on planes where they took off and they landed. I know a good landing when I feel one. You see where we're going? I cannot teach my daughter how to be a woman. That is my wife's job. Y'all go on in the back. Talk about that. Y'all done? Okay, come on, babe. Sit down right here. Let Daddy talk to you for a second. I'm going to give you language for a man. I'm going to teach you how to activate your man. I'm going to teach you how to identify a man. Some of our sisters don't know how to identify a man because they think that because he has a part and a part and a peck, that makes him a man. And it does not. Let me give you an example. The reason why we are having such trouble right now, first of all, let's talk about an important word: emasculate. I was asked, I'll be on the reel on Friday, and they made me a resident expert. I'll be coming back and doing that show and talking to my sisters Garcelle and Lonnie and Adrian. And one of the questions that they asked was, what does emasculate mean? What does emasculating a man mean? First of all, let's define emasculate. Deprive of strength or weaken. The greatest emasculation that's happening right now is the notion that men are unnecessary. The reason, in my humble opinion, the reason why God made it necessary for a man and a woman to create a child is because in order to create a balanced child, you need messaging of both man and woman. A boy who just gets messaging from his mother My wife is phenomenal. She is from this, y'all tell her when y'all see her. So your husband said you phenomenal. So South side of Chicago, proud black woman. We've been together for 24 years, married for 19 of those. Clap it up for black love. Get it. You better get it. We did that thing. My wife is phenomenal. She is has been a phenomenal actress first, now a phenomenal director. Clap that up. Is this the camera? Mrs. Whitfield, you a bad something. You doing that thing. Phenomenal. A great leader on her set. Is this on? A great leader on her set. She also leads in our home. You are looking at the leader of our house, right here. Not because I tell anybody what to do. Did I say that my wife is from the South Side of Chicago and black woman? Did y'all hear? Did y'all hear that? Who didn't? Raise your hand if you didn't get that. Okay. That's not going to work. That is not going to, for my white brothers and sisters in the room, act like y'all don't hear this. There is no way that I am going to be able to survive in my home by trying to tell that proud black woman what to do. That's not going to happen. You clap for yourself. Clap for yourself. Y'all trying to be meek now. Inside, y'all like, now you know that's right. I became the leader of my house, and why my wife follows my lead, because I don't tell nobody what to do. I show people what to do. You are looking at the model that everyone in my house mirrors. When anyone in my house has a problem, they come to dad. Despite the television shows that you watch. And I'm gonna do something about that too. Because I'm sick of that. We are not being, earlier today I was talking to the young brothers and sisters that were in the room, and I was talking about the fact that I am utterly disgusted at the imagery of black men in our society. Yes, indeed. I am not a unicorn. It's a whole bunch of brothers like me. I'm gonna say that again. I am not a unicorn. It's a whole bunch of brothers like me. And yet they don't want to tell that story. They would rather tell the story of the bumbling fool or the black man that you should fear. The CDC, that ain't us. The CDC said that black men are more likely than any other to play a role in their child's life. The CDC said that. We ain't the CDC. I'm just giving you facts. That's all I got. Now, to my sisters in the room who do not have that experience, as your big brother, I humbly apologize. Because you should have that experience. It is a travesty that our sisters do not have that experience of us. It is disgusting. Here's what I want you to know. You may not have a partner that you have that experience with. I want you to become partnered with a man that will give that experience to your child and to you as a sister. In my book, I talk about how men are supposed to be a walking tree. What do trees do? Trees provide cover. If we didn't have shelter, before we had shelter, trees provided us cover from the harmful elements of the world. You didn't have a tree, you would burn to death. What else do trees do? Trees give you oxygen, even when you give it poison. Everybody hear that? So when you give me poison, I give you oxygen. That's my job. My brothers, listen to me very carefully. Every sister in this room is your assignment. My brothers, listen to me very carefully. Every sister in this room is your assignment. Every time I experience a sister who is hostile toward me, the first thing I say to myself is, oh my God, who broke my sister's heart? Who did that to my sister that she's showing up in this way with me in this moment? The first love of any woman is her father. For any girl, it is her father. Now the question becomes, what did the first love of your life do to your heart? Because if your father broke your heart, your expectation is that I will break it too. So whenever I see my sister show up and she's hostile toward me, I already know I'm pushing a rock uphill, but that's my assignment. And my job is to resuscitate her heart. Not for the sake of me coveting her, for the sake of me covering her. My wife is my first assignment. You all are my second. That's my job every day. Brothers, that's your job every day. Brothers, I'm going to challenge you tonight. Every single day, I want you to accept the responsibility of turning on the light of one of your sisters. And you know what I'm talking about. Have you ever come across a sister where you feel like her light has been dimmed? She is walking around existing and barely living based on what she's experienced with someone who looks like us. Here, here, and here. But not here. Your job is to resuscitate a sister, at least one every day. Our sisters will fool you into thinking that they are strong. They are not. They are not. I'm saying this in a room full of women that nobody said, What does that tell you? They're telling you plainly, my brother is right. I am resilient. I am not strong. Gigantic difference. My sister is a beautiful, gentle flower who just wants to be treated as such, but can't because her environment is so dangerous. And she has no covering. So she can't be gentle. It's not safe for her to be gentle. Because she's out here with sharks. Your job is to let her know, sister, put that down. Put that down. I got you. My sisters, you are not dependent. Excuse me, independent. I don't care what music tells you. I don't care about the concert that you went to with 5 of your friends and everybody patted and high-fived and kiki and girl, we did that and we independent because we went to this concert by ourselves. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I had to tell my young brothers and sisters earlier today, look here, and this is no shade at my sister Beyonce. I love her to death. We're friends. Love her to death. Great entertainment, not great information. That's entertainment. When I watch The Terminator, that's great entertainment. It's not great instruction. if I take that movie as instruction, you all are getting ready to die. Because the Terminator does what? Terminate you. That is entertainment. To the left, the box to the left. You must not know about me. Great entertainment. That song is hilarious. Sister Beyonce going home to her husband. You must not know about her. Don't you take that as instruction. Sister Beyonce going home to J to the Z. And ain't no boxes in there. Ain't nothing going on to the left. Entertainment, not instruction. I'm gonna tell you a little story. I may get a little emotional because it is extremely important to me. I told you about me writing Male versus Man. How difficult me coming into my manhood was. Because I didn't have my biological father in my life to give me the tenets of manhood. By the way, to all of my brothers in the room, you do not need to be fathered by your biological father, but you need to be fathered. When I came into my manhood, what really highlighted the fact that I had work to do was when I got married. Because no one ever taught me how to be a husband. We buy this house, this door swells, and it's sticking, it won't close. And my wife said, why don't you just take it off the hinges and shave it down and put it back up? I said, what? You don't know how to do that? No, I bought the house. I don't, what? Because they just told me if you make money. That's what makes you a man. I bought the house. I got a client who two clients that I counsel. I coach and counsel a lot of married couples. This couple lives in a $13 million home. The wife is disenchanted with her husband because he's not handy. Dondre, he don't even know how to use a screwdriver. You're kidding. It's disgusting. I don't know why you're still here. I said, sister, let me tell you a story about the woman who has a man who's handy and can't buy her a house. He can fix everything except their location. What exactly is manhood? Has absolutely nothing to do with my pockets, absolutely nothing to do with my skills as a handyman, it has everything in the world to do with my consciousness. Because if I have the right consciousness, I can get to everything else. If I got the right consciousness, I can get to the money. If I got the right consciousness, I can get to a level of learning how to be handy. Males look to be served, while men look to be of service. There's a gigantic difference between us. And the reason why our society thinks that all guys are toxic is because they don't know how to distinguish the difference between the males from the men. Every dude that's walking around here, it's not me. Every man is a male, but not every male is a man. I wrote this book paying homage to both my father, my biological father, and my mother, because I realized this. My father never taught me how to be a man because no one ever taught him. Breaks my heart every time I think about my father. It used to anger me. When I was 26 years old, I was doing All My Children. My father had just gotten out of prison, serving 13 years for manslaughter. He killed someone. A couple of my homeboys back in Brooklyn said, yo man, send me a message, yo man, your pops is out. I said, all right. I drive into Brooklyn from my home that I purchased in New Jersey, made something of myself. Now, I'm gonna use this as a weapon to hurt the person who has hurt me the most. Because hurt people hurt people. So I picked up my father. At 6 years old, my father kidnapped me from my mother. I woke up in the back seat of his car. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. I had no idea where I was. Didn't know where my father was. He was probably at that time, because he was a male, probably up at some female's place of residence, serving himself. I'll never forget being abandoned like that. So at 26, look how these years just line up. I was 6 years old when he abandoned me. I'm now 26. I'm coming to pick him up. I picked him up and I talked to him about everything that I had made of myself. Drove him around in my expensive car. I made sure that we were really far away from where he lived. And I kicked him out of my car and I told him if I ever saw him again, I would kill him. "20 years later, 46, I'm sitting on the couch in my home in Southern California. My daughter sits down next to me on the couch. "12 years old, asks me a very simple question. She said, "Dad, do you know where your father is?" We had never talked about my father ever before. No segue, no nothing. Dad, do you know where your father is? I knew where he was. But when I tell you, it was hot as a mug in that living room. I was like, can you turn on the air conditioner? I can barely breathe here. Because I didn't know what to tell my child. And I said, well, babe, it's tricky, it's complicated. She asked me 2 questions that devastated my heart. She said, is that my grandfather? And am I ever going to meet him? I got a lot of answers in life. I didn't have none of that. What I realized was that God was sending me a messenger. The first messenger he sent was my wife. And I don't know if I told you this or not, but I grew up in Brooklyn. Don't let this shade of skin and my career fool you. I ain't no punk. Plenty of people have gotten their back dirty from thinking the wrong thing. You understand? Okay. The first messenger God sent me was my wife. And I said, look, this is a man thing. You don't know. I don't even want to discuss this. And south side of Chicago went on her merry way. Because she didn't want no part of that. And the little boy in me said, whew, it worked. Thank God I ain't got to deal with that. So God said, I see. So you're a tough guy. I'm going to send you a real messenger, tough guy. And he sent me the messenger that I couldn't tough. I went back to New York, found my father. We hadn't spoken in 20 years. We reconciled, and I'm going to tell you something. The reason why my father and I were estranged for 20 years is because my perception of him was he was never going to change. He was always going to be that guy. And I didn't want to have my heart broken again. Sound familiar? We all got that story. Rather than risk having my heart broken again, I'm just going to say, this is the way his story ends. He's always going to be that guy. I'm done. Turns out, my father had become a devout Muslim. FOI, in fact. One of the highest orders in his community. I had no idea. I didn't even truly learn fully who my father had become until last year at his funeral. I was in New York shooting a pilot for my talk show. That's another discussion. And I love God's timing. He brought me home to New York to shoot. My greatest accomplishment. And I had to deal with my greatest devastation. Every day I visited my father in the hospital on his deathbed. And every day I interviewed him about how he showed up, the way he showed up for me, for my mother, for himself. What I learned was that we only become great at the things that we receive information and instruction about. My father would have become a great man sooner had he had great information and instruction. On my father's deathbed, for the first time last year, I heard my mother say in reference to my father, "Tell your father I said hang in there." The nicest thing I ever heard my mother say about my father. Go to the hospital. I passed this message on to my father. My father, in his weakened state, picks up his phone, scrolls through his photos, shows me a photo of my mother. At 17 years old, the year that she had given birth to me. And my father said to me, "I love your mother so much. I was around so much ignorance, and I just didn't know what I was doing." Whew. Devastating. What kind of man would I have had in my life to lead me, to model for me, had my father had great information and instruction? When you see a brother underperforming, from now on, I want you to find it in your heart to give him grace and have empathy for the fact that he is not receiving great information and instruction. Deep in his heart, he wants to be great and doesn't know how. He is underperforming because his information and instruction is underwhelming. I do what I do because I want to honor my mother and my father. The best way for me to honor my father is to create more men. The best way for me to honor my mother is for me to create more men. My brothers, there is a gigantic difference between your passion and your purpose. Your passions are the things that serve you. Your purpose is the thing that serves others. My purpose is to build men and resuscitate women. That is my purpose. It puts me to sleep at night. When I talk about put me to sleep, I'm talking about expire. I don't ever go to bed. I just expire. Because I'm constantly thinking, what can I do tomorrow? What can I do tomorrow? What can I do tomorrow? And then the next thing I know, I wake up. Laptop on my chest, sketch pad on my chest, pen in the bed, Bible on the left, dog on the right, wife over here talking about move over. But wake up with vigor, because I know that my purpose is my assignment. I want you to walk intentionally. God put you here for a reason. Your job is to figure out why. It's not to buy Jordans. I know you think so. It's not to buy Jordans. It's not to buy jewelry with diamonds. It's not to buy nice cars. Those things are awesome and they have their place, but they do not sustain your happiness. And if you don't believe me, the next time you buy a new car, watch the feeling you get when you scratch it. If you don't believe me, get you a pair of new J's and look at the feeling that you get when somebody steps on them. Yeah. Sisters, if you got a Coach bag and you want a Louis Vuitton, guess what? When you get that Louis Vuitton and somebody scratches your LV bag, watch and see the devastation that you feel and that happiness go. You buy one Louis Vuitton bag, and you go, oh, you know what it is? It's not Louis Vuitton. I just got to get a Gucci. And then you get a Gucci. And you're like, maybe I need 2 Gucci. And then you get 2 Gucci bags. You're like, I gotta go get me some Christian Dior. And then you go get all this other, and you finally realize it's none of this stuff. Gives you a shot of dopamine, like you on drugs. That's what it does. So you feel exhilarated. So there's a high, but then there's a low. Your purpose keeps you right here. Figure out what your assignment is, because really, the reason why we are all together here is because we are all each other's assignment. Interdependent, not dependent, interdependent. We need each other. Everybody get that? I can sit here and talk to you for 5 hours. Seriously. I'm going to pause for a second so we can start some Q&A, because we'll be here till 6:30 in the morning, because this is my assignment. I can do that. Seriously. But I want to hear from you now, because there's got to be something that you're going, I heard that, but I need some clarification on this. Let's hear about that.
So if you recall, we have a virtual audience, and so we need to take a commercial to transition. We've got Karen Vaughn here with us tonight. Give her a hand. She's going to lead our discussions. If you recall, I asked everyone to start thinking of your questions, so kind of get ready. You can go ahead and start lining up at the mic. We're going to cue a commercial just so that we can take a break virtually, and then after the commercial, we'll be with Karen Vaughn.
Wow, we got commercial breaks over here? They fancy in here, boy. All right. We'll be back right after these messages. Go on, get your bathroom breaks, bruh. we go.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to get started with our Q&A. I'm Karen Vaughn, Operations Manager for Radio 1 Indianapolis and Midday Talent for 106.7 WTLC. It is good to be here with you back at the Stewart Speaker Series. I enjoy this event each and every year. Matthew and the board, thank you so much for bringing me back once again. I love the conversation so far. I feel that I am with my brother, and you are my brother, and your brother is your brother. You are our keeper. So let's give Dondre a round of applause. And I'm going to thank you because back in 2002, when I was on the radio in Miami, we did an interview for Hidden Hills when you were playing Zach.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And 4 days after the interview, I get a card. I don't typically get mail at work, but it was a card from you. Being thankful and showed gratitude for the interview. And you don't get those in your career many times. I think I've gotten 2 in my whole career, and I've been in radio for like 30 years. So thank you for showing your gratitude, and just thank you for being you, because that spoke volumes to you and your character. Wow. So thank you. And integrity. So as you walk in your purpose, we're just going to dive into your conversation a bit, and what we were just discussing about sharing and letting God use you, and sharing your story the way that you did about your father. And I feel that there was a connection with many here, because we have those stories. It could have been our dad, it could be our mom, our brother, our aunt, a friend, a teacher, a coach, that we have gone through trials and tribulations through. But it's through those trials and tribulations that you have your testimony. And your testimony is what helps people, what shapes people, and helps you learn, because in life there are no mistakes, only lessons, right? So when you are sharing stories, and when you took the time to write this book, Male versus Man, what was the story in your life that spawned sharing your testimony in a book for the world to read?
So, I talked about this in the what I call the prerequisite, which is, the preface, and most of the time, I called it the prerequisite because it's the thing that you should read, you have to read before you move on to the chapters. Often when you read the prefaces, the author is pontificating about stuff where you're like, you're killing me. Like, can we get to it? And what I shared in the prerequisite was the story of me riding my motorcycle with my best friend, and I knew that on that day my assignment was to look after my friend. And all day I was doing a fantastic job of making sure that he was okay. And I got to a space where we were on this freeway, and it was a part of a freeway where me and a couple of my other riding partners who were as experienced, and when I say experienced, I mean like I used to do wheelies down the freeway. Like, I was really an accomplished rider, raced motorcycles, raced cars, so really an extremely accomplished rider. We got to a part of the freeway where we would go through this turn. It was a really wide sweeping turn. And we would go through this turn with our knees down, doing literally 80 miles an hour in this turn. And I signaled to him, hey, I want you to slow down. We get ready to go up here. It's a turn coming up. I'm gonna go up, but you stay here. There was a part of me that knew that there was no way he was not going to follow me. In order to make myself feel better about the decision that I was going to make, I said, if you just explain it well enough, he won't follow you and he'll stay behind. And this is a part of when males look to be served, how much devastation we can cause. My friend died in that motorcycle accident. It's my best friend. When I say I've never been more devastated in my life about something, I sequestered myself to our home for 4 months. I didn't leave my house for 4 months because I blamed the death of my friend, my best friend, on the fact that I had chosen, rather than continue to take care of him, I went and indulged myself. And I vowed at that point that I would never make that mistake. Consciously, I would never make that mistake again. Now, while I know that I am not bigger than God's plan, I'm not bigger than anyone else's decision, because he still had a decision to make for himself. I just know that I wasn't being, in that moment, the man that God had called. In that moment, God was calling me to take care of my brother. And I abandoned my post. And at that moment, I decided I will never again abandon my post. And so that book was designed to make sure that I help brothers to matriculate into their manhood and to figure out how they knew that there was a post that they had to man and that they weren't supposed to abandon their post. That's where the book comes from.
Awesome. Awesome. During the time that you were speaking, you talked about being the leader of your home. Okay? And there is a difference between being a leader and in control.
Yes, because I'm often not in control.
Understood.
I'm in control of myself.
Right.
Yeah.
But some think it as, being head of household, in that relationship is I'm in control, do what I say. It is what it is. You feel like you're a child. Remember when your parents would say to you, I said what I said? And you knew at that point that was it. There was no more debate or trying to debate or thinking you were debating. So in a relationship, right? We have a leader, we have someone that wants to be in control. So how do we balance that on becoming more of a leader in your household than someone that wants to command control because that's what you were taught?
My wife is in full control of our relationship. I want to say that clearly. So let me prove this. While I am the leader of my house, my wife is in full control of what goes on in our house. I'm going to be very clear about this. I'm going to prove it to you. Brothers who are in relationships, is there a way for you to punish your wife or your woman without punishing yourself? I'll wait. I'll be patient. Take a sip of water. Raise your hand, come to the microphone, and tell me, I've been a man for 52 years. I've been in this relationship for 24 years. Is there a way for you to punish your woman without punishing yourself? Go. Right. Sisters, is there a way for you to punish your man without punishing yourself? Everybody with me? My wife is in full control of our relationship. I am the leader, but my wife is in full control. My sisters, listen to me. You're working too hard. You're working too hard. You may not be handling this in the best way. You're trying way too, you don't have to work that hard. Listen, When the towers went down in New York, where I am from, I said, if every woman got together in the greater tri-state area and wanted to rebuild the towers, it could be done in no time. Because a man, I'm not talking about males, a man will move heaven and earth for you if you are strategic. First and foremost, and y'all better get this stuff down. I'm not playing with you tonight. Affirmation is the greatest gift you can give your man. I'm telling you right now, we are suckers. All we want to hear is how well we are doing. That's it. That's our check. We can have a grown conversation, right? Okay. My sisters, cheat code right now. 3 pieces. I'm working on my relationship book right now called The Hero and the Herd. I'm going to give y'all a sneak peek. The hero and the herd. How every man needs to feel like the hero of his house and every woman needs to feel heard. When a guy cheats, does he cheat up or down?
Down.
Down. Every woman who's ever been cheated on said, I can't do this. Every woman who's ever been cheated on said, I can't believe he cheated on me with that.
Can you say that again? One more time. For everybody in the back.
Every woman, for the people, for the chefs.
Yes.
Every woman who's ever been cheated on said, I can't believe he cheated on me with that. Down. He had to cheat down because somebody needed to look up. He was trying to create the feeling of the hero. See, the down constantly gives affirmation. She's just happy to have him there. That's why he cheats down. Every woman needs to feel hurt. Brothers, I said this to our students earlier today. Raise your hand if you've ever heard from a woman in your life, mother, sister, aunt, grandma, cousin, but you don't listen. You don't, raise your hand. Come on. You don't listen. Every day, my wife comes home, I'm figuring out whether I'm going to have a husband conversation with my wife or a girlfriend conversation. Brothers, y'all better write this down. I'm giving you cheat code. Your wife walks in, your woman walks in, boom, here she comes. Gone, conversation started, but I can't, and then today, you're not gonna believe this, and then she's gone. Now, I know I have to participate in this conversation. I don't want to have it, but I gotta participate in this conversation. My job now is to figure out what conversation are we having, husband or girlfriend? Here's what a girlfriend conversation sounds like. And then I'll tell, no, and I said, why would you even do that? And why would you even be treated like that? And then I told him, I said, look, you better go ahead and get on over there. And this is all her. This is all her. No segues. Running right through all the red lights. She is gone. Girlfriend conversation. What? It's crazy. What? Meanwhile, she ain't stopped. All the red lights. She is gone. She don't even know I'm there. Except for, that's crazy. I can't believe it. That's a girlfriend conversation. Here's a husband conversation. Ready? Babe, and then I was talking to her, and then they did this, and then I don't know. Uh-oh. Babe, could I offer you something? Sure. Husband conversation. That means my wife just gave me room to insert something. Brothers, we are God's fix-it men. We want to fix it. Sometimes they just want to tell you what the problem is. Don't fix nothing. Just listen. Shut your behind up and listen. Even if it don't feel good it's not going to feel good to you. Because in your spirit, God sent a fix-it man. Not now. Feel bad now so you can feel good later. We having a grown conversation, right? I pointed up there because I got a 2-story house. And the bedroom ain't on the first floor. Who got that? Who got that?
Understood.
Feel bad now. Feel good later. This is a part of all of that. We got to learn each other's language. Brothers, we got to be sensitive to what our woman is going through. She's going to tell you. She's going to tell you. Sisters, your man needs to feel like the hero of your house. Give him an opportunity to be the hero. Nope, he's not going to do it in your time. Nope, he's not going to do it the way you want it done. But is it getting done? See, we're fighting the wrong battles. You're fighting over why you did it that way. Stop. Let him do that. Is he doing it? Then that's what matters. Don't control everything. You don't want him to control everything. You stop too. Because your job is to feel bad every once in a while too. If you one person and you feel good all the time, something ain't right. If you're in a relationship and you feel good all the time, you ain't right. Everybody get it? Somebody is supposed to be doing some emotional push-ups from time to time. My wife, we got a rule. Babe, what you need me to do? I need you to, hold on. Give me your list. When you need it done by. Got it. Bye. And we don't have no more discussion. Because I ain't one of the kids We don't need a mother, we need a lover. Do not mother your man. If you feel like he need one, he ain't for you. Everybody with me?
Clear.
I'm giving you the facts now. Yeah, write that down. Yeah, I see my sister. God damn it. You got a pen? Give me a pen. This one ain't working. You got it. Come on. Let's go. Listen, we gonna do this. We can do this all night. What else you got? What else you got? Where we going now? I'm gonna knock them all down.
I believe that you will.
Yep, I'm gonna knock them all down.
So you talked also about black men being feared.
Oh.
In your thought, what do we need to do for black men to be revered?
She said, say it, because I know what you said.
Okay.
That's a great question.
I'm sorry, guys. You can hear me better now? Okay. We spoke about black men being feared. We all know what we see on TV and what we hear, right? In Dondre's thoughts, he's going to share with us how black men can be revered.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Look, we're doing some of it right now. Mm-hmm. This is a part of the emotional resuscitation right now. Because some of our sisters, this is the first time that they've actually had an experience with a man who don't want to covet them, who's not marginalizing them, who's not running over them, who's not ignoring them, who's speaking to them in a way that they feel like this is my big brother just giving me information that I know loves me, because really don't need to be here. I said it to our students earlier today. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. I am getting a check to be in Indianapolis. It's not gonna change my life. I'm gonna be honest with you. Who hurt me? Who hurt me? It's not gonna change my life at all. Trust me. I am here because I'm here on assignment. I don't even take jobs for money no more. As a businessman, I shouldn't say that, but I ain't worried about that. I don't take jobs for money. I really don't. Don't tell my wife that. I do not take jobs for money anymore. No. I take jobs for assignment. Your purpose will always pad your pocket. Your purpose will always pad your pocket. You are your most, I talked about passions and purpose, right? What are you? I love playing, look, I love acting. It's one of my passions. I love playing golf. It's one of my passions. I love scuba diving. It's one of my passions. I love horseback riding. It's one of my passions. None of them are my purpose. Which one am I more passionate about? Those or my purpose? You're always more passionate about your purpose, so your purpose is always going to pad your pocket. The reason why we're having a terrible existence at times is because we're doing things simply for the money. Now, let me just say this to you, and I said this to our students earlier today. It's really difficult to say to folks that are struggling, because I know I've been there. I've been at the place where you could feel the ground through your shoe, because there's a hole in it. I've been there. I know what that is. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you, you know, if I sit here and say money ain't everything, and you can't pay your light bill. I'm not talking about that. Me sitting here saying money ain't everything, and you can't afford a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you got enough money to pay the bill where you don't have to worry about shelter, where you don't have to worry about whether you're going to have to dig through a garbage can, I'm telling you that all of that other stuff doesn't mean anything. I'm telling you right now, because I've been on both sides of the track. We keep thinking, see, everybody keeps selling us the goods that life is about pleasure. Life is actually about peace. Watch this, my brothers. I'm gonna prove it to you. I know y'all said, man, this dude. Here he go. Life ain't about pleasure. You lost me with that one, bro. It ain't about pleasure. Oh, I can't have nice things. I can't have a nice ride. I can't have a nice piece of jewelry. I can't have Jordans now. You already told me it ain't about Jordans. I can't do none of that. Watch this. You can buy all of your pleasures. All of them. You can buy your car. You can buy your jewelry. You can even buy sex if you had to. What you can't buy is peace. I know a whole bunch of folks that got all the money in the world, no peace. Most of them are denying themselves access to peace because they don't even know their purpose. The next time you run into a person who has a bunch of money, who you think is rich, ask them what their purpose is. Especially the one who has all this money and doesn't look happy. What's that about? Because they don't have a purpose. Money can be your passion, it can't be your purpose. Yep, write it down. I see. Yep, write it down. Write it down. Yes, indeed. Money can be your passion, it cannot be your purpose. Never in the history of mankind. Because money is a tool. Money is a tool. Fame is a tool. It provides a platform. Now that you have that, now what? You look on Instagram, you see all of these folks who you think, you look at, you go, man, I wish I had their life. Be careful. Be careful. I know all of them. Let me tell you something. You don't want it. You ever heard any scandals about me and my wife? Never. We ain't in none of them circles. None of them. And I ain't gonna say no names. Y'all know all the couples. We know all of them. We know all of them. We've been at all of the dinners. We've been at all the parties. Bye. Bye. Because I see the shenanigans. I ain't with it. I'm around it, I ain't of it. When they say cut, cut. It's over. We live in a very specific way because at the end of the day, we got to be all right. We got to be together. That's specific. Go on, where are we going next?
For those that have questions, if one by one on each side, we have 2 mics here, and I'm going to ask a question as those that would like to ask a question come forth. Earlier, you talked and referenced music. from a particular artist that talks about being an independent woman. Even referenced Irreplaceable.
Yes.
Written by Neil, so I'm sure a woman said all those things to him.
Yes.
Especially Can You Walk and Talk at the Same Time. That's my favorite line.
Yes.
And it just had me thinking, I mean, I'm in radio, right? Thinking of those songs that made me feel empowered.
Yes.
Okay? Janet Jackson, Control.
Yes.
Golden, Jill Scott.
Yes.
Everything is Everything. Lauryn Hill. And those songs push us through. They get us through. They make us feel good, right? At the same time, we are strong women. And how many times have you scrolled on your timeline that said, check on your strong friends, right? Because we are resilient, we are focused. At the same time, we're tired.
Yes.
We're drained.
Yeah.
But through it all, we're resilient.
Yes.
So, brother to sister,
Yep.
can you help our brothers and our sisters?
Yes.
Check on their strong friends.
Yeah, guess what? Strong don't need help. So if you keep sending the signal that you strong, you sending the signal that you don't need no help. No, I got it. I got it. Okay. I guess I'll be over here. A man will leave an environment that he feels unnecessary in. I'm telling you right now. A man will leave an environment that he feels unnecessary in. So if you the man too, you're gonna be the man by yourself. Because there's a woman who wants one. And that's where he's going. Look, if we were both supposed, look, the reason why, man, if we were both, the reason why we are man and woman is because we have two different assignments. If we both man, one of us is unnecessary. If you man for both of us, why am I here? Why am I here? I told my wife very early on in our relationship, look, let me clear this up for you right here, right now. I don't ever want to have to say this again. You can't out, this is when I spoke this way. You can't out cuss me. You can't out ignorant me. I chose another word, but we got company. And you can't kick my behind. The best thing for you to do is to act like a woman so I can treat you like one.
Well,
because real talk right now, let's go facts. If you speak warrior language to a warrior, I'm a warrior. There are wars that you're fighting, but I'm a warrior. If you speak warrior language to a warrior, you're going to get war, and then you're going to complain about the scars that you get. Which one you want? Stop this. Stop this. Stop this. Stop this. If you are in an environment where you feel like you gotta be a man, get a new environment. Get a new partner. That dude is not for you. If you don't feel like you can fall and get caught.
I need you to say that one more time.
If you don't feel like you can fall and get caught, you need a new one. And guess what? Watch this. Don't walk around strong. It's repellent. Who are you looking at? Who are you looking at? Who are you talking to? Who you talking to? I know you ain't talking to me. You're right, I ain't talking to you. You're right, I am not looking at you. Excuse me. I like to look at the sister who's the feminine side. Who wants to play her role so I can play mine. Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. I'm not looking for no boxing matches, so excuse me. I'm already fighting wars. I don't want to fight one at home too.
Yes.
I'm already fighting it in the street. I'm not fighting it in my house. Me and my wife, we had a real talk one day, and I was like, look, hey, you're gonna do this by yourself. You're gonna be fighting with yourself. I'm not doing it. I love you enough to say bye. We got enough rooms in this house for me to be in one solo. And if that don't work, I'm going outside. I'm going for a ride in my car. Now, if you hear a person who lives in Southern California say, I gotta go get in my car to go take a ride, with all the traffic we got in Southern California, something ain't right. We are already fighting enough battles on these streets. We don't want to have to fight them at home too. And that goes for both of us, because our sisters are going through way too much out here. She don't want to be fighting no battles at home either. Look, in the book I talk about 10 and 2. When you're driving, they always tell you to put your hands where? 10 and 2. When my wife is at 10, I'm at 2. Why? Watch this. I can't believe it's you and so. I understand what you're saying. Here's what I'm saying. Here's what I need you to get. Why? That's a device. The only way for you to hear me if I go where you are, now we two fools at 10. Now we at 20. Who wins at 20? Nobody. I'm not going with you, because why? I'm the leader.
Yes.
I'm the leader. I know you lead where you are, but I lead in here. My brothers, become masterful at being calm in the midst of chaos. When she go there, and she gonna go there, I got a mama, I had a grandmama, may she rest in peace. I got a 17-year-old daughter. Listen to me, she gonna go there. Your job is not to go. Your job is to lead her back where she's supposed to live. Calm in the midst of chaos. She will never follow you if you go with her. As soon as she sees that she has the power to make you go where she goes, she'll never follow you. She won't even tell you that. But as soon as she knows that she can trip you up like that and go where she goes, she'll never follow you again. In her inner self, this is the look on her face, in her inner self. Because he just followed me there. I can't even believe it. Calm in the midst of chaos. You got to teach her how to get back to the calm. That's your assignment. Sisters, your assignment is to go, okay, am I creating chaos? Because here's what happens. We as men, we generally tend to be physical first. Our sisters generally tend to be emotional first. Your job is to make sure that your physicality doesn't get you in trouble. Sisters, your job is to make sure that your emotionality doesn't get you in trouble. We gotta check the areas that we generally go to first and infuse calm in that so that we can get to a space where we can build. Everybody good?
Thank you, thank you. The gentleman right here will be our last question for the evening. Come on up to the microphone and ask your question, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You guys speak up a little bit.
Sure, yeah.
There we go, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I want to first give thanks to the Steward Speaker Series for bringing amazing speakers like him into this atmosphere and space that we call Indianapolis. Secondly, I want to thank you, Dondre, for following your purpose, having the courage to follow your purpose, because your message is very important. My name is Cedric Fillmore. I'm one of the mentors with the with our Kappa League, which is a mentoring program here.
Love it.
And you mentioned earlier that you were talking to some younger people, but we do have some younger people in the audience today.
Love it.
And I'd love to hear any words that you'd like to part off to them as part of your message before you leave.
Yeah, you know, thank you, brother.
Can the young people stand up so
yeah,
we can see?
Let's see how we are. Yeah, there you go. These are what I call our kids, but that's an acronym. What I call King in Development.
All right.
Okay. First of all, let me shout out my brothers who are mentors in the room, man. I love y'all, man. Y'all are doing God's work. To my young brothers that are coming into yourself, trying to matriculate into manhood, I want you to know this, that kings are not developed in comfort. Kings are developed in crisis. Your job is to grow in a space where you are constantly putting yourself under appropriate pressure to learn how to be calm under pressure. In the book, I talk about how every man is a firefighter and not an arsonist. Arsonists start fires. They're the ones who create chaos. A man has got to be a firefighter. Your job is to put out fires, to prevent chaos. The way you do that is to put yourself in appropriate spaces of pressure so that you constantly learn how to be calm under pressure. You see me here right now? There are some people who would die if they had to stand here and address a room full of people, because they haven't put themselves in a space where they're getting enough reps in order to be calm in the midst of all of that. So what I want you to do is find a way for you to do something. If you're afraid of something, doing something like this, like say you're afraid to speak in a room like this, find a way to get up in front of people and speak. Whatever you're afraid of, do that. And here's why. It is extremely important for people to affirm you, but it's more important for you to affirm you, yourself. You gotta know, hey man, I can handle anything that comes my way. And you begin telling yourself that you can, the more that you knock down your fears. So whatever it is that you're afraid of, go do that. Whenever I find something that I'm afraid of, I go, oh my God, I gotta go scuba dive in the middle of that. Ironically, you heard me talk about my passion for scuba diving. Because look, our folks, we don't do water. Not like that. I get my feet wet. But we ain't doing water like my wife's sister is hilarious. That's hilarious, right? We don't do water like that. My family projected their fear of water onto me. When I figured out that I had a fear of water like that, because we got a fear of we already know that the known is dangerous. Now you want to put me in an environment of the unknown where I don't see what's going on then? Oh no, I'm good. When I figured out that I was fearful of that, I'm a couple of hours away from getting my rescue diving card.
Nice.
Because nothing can scare me like that. As a man, I can't be. I gotta be able to be right here in the thing that I used to be in fear of and stand right here and not move. Why? Because everyone in the room has to see me as the model that mirrors being calm in the midst of the chaos. Immovable. And I can't do that unless I get enough reps. Everybody see it? So for my young kings that are in the room in development, I want you to know you got to keep being in that environment so that you build up the confidence to know I can handle any and all things. Simply by being calm, getting the information and instruction. That's how you will begin to build yourself. Always, all right? My brothers. See my sister standing up there. We can.
Just briefly, as a widow of 24 years with a man gone, now grandmother of 3 grandsons, 7, 13, and 16. Tell us women, I know you told us to keep our emotions down, we have to play a part, but when the men are gone,
yes,
we step up to the plate.
Yes, of course.
I've served as father, mother, because daughter, father, daughter absent. So for grandsons, I've stepped up as father and mother. I've stepped up as grandfather and grandmother. And no, I can't raise a man, but what do we do when the man's not there?
Such a great question. First of all, on behalf of every man that abandoned his post, I apologize to you for you having to walk out that burden on your own. What I want you to know is you will only be able to be a dynamic grandmother. And that's enough. You can't be father. You can't be grandfather. You can only be dynamic grandmother. Giving them the information and instruction that they need, and then with things like, say, this material, right? And then you go over this material. So say, hey, we're gonna go over chapter 1. And I'm not selling books. Look, trust me, I'm not selling no books. I really am not. Couldn't care less. All I care about are your babies. If it's not my book, it's somebody else's book. We're gonna go over this chapter. We're gonna read this together. What did you hear? What did you hear in this? Have a discussion about what they are getting from that kind of information, right? Because now this becomes a facilitator. So it's almost like, in this case, of course, I'm using this as the example because this is the obvious one. But now you have Dondre helping you with this conversation. See it? So now we go chapter by chapter. What did you hear in this? So when you hear Dondre say, males look to be served while men look to be of service, what did you get from that? Don't dictate anything to them. They're already processing it. You get it? My son right now, 13 years old, if he were here right now, I would say to him, son, why did God put you here? And without hesitation, my son would say, to be of service. I put my son, he's 13, I put my son's manhood up against some 30, 40-year-olds I know. But that's because of information and instruction. And every single day he does something that I don't feel like is in alignment. I go, oh, freeze, come here, sit down. We gotta have a discussion about this. Why? Because my job is to make sure whatever he did that doesn't get him to show up the way he should be showing up, we gotta make sure he doesn't show up the same way tomorrow. My job as a man is to make sure that the Dondre that you meet today is not the Dondre you meet tomorrow. Because I'm constantly doing push-ups to make sure that I grow me. That is my assignment. So when you do that, go step by step. Hey, here's what this is. What did you hear when you heard the brother say that? What did you hear? And then get your grandsons in the company of men. They don't even have to give him messaging, because kids usually don't have their greatest learning from listening. They have their greatest learning from looking. Oh, that's what you do? I'm gonna do that. That's what kids do. They mirror what's being modeled for them. If you smoking cigarettes, look here. You better not never smoke a cigarette, okay? If I ever see you smoke a cigarette, I'm gonna kill you. You understand? Look here. This is a terrible habit. It's gonna kill you. I had to have surgery in my neck. It's one of the worst disgusting habits. It's all in my clothes. Too late. You just endorsed smoking. Get him in the company of men who walk upright and leave him there. Just leave him there, because now he's watching what he is to become. So aside from the information and instruction, let him look. That's how we learn. Grandma, I applaud you.
Tonight has been amazing. It has been amazing. Let's give it up once again for Dondre.
Thank you, family.
Yes. Let me rephrase that. Our brother, Dondre.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
From Southern California by way of the tri-state. Thank you again for being here. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to let Kim take over at this point, and tomorrow check me out on 106.7 WTLC at 10 a.m. while you're working.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you so much. First off, I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. I feel like we need to call your manager, because we had no idea what we were in for. Thank you. So you said when you walk in the room, you're given a message.
Yes.
This morning, I know you heard the young man say, we appreciate the sermon. I literally felt like I walked in the church and God was just speaking to me. So thank you. Thank you. My husband will appreciate it.
Yes, indeed.
We do have a couple of announcements. First, if you guys just bear with me 2 minutes, and I promise we're going to get out of here really soon. The first thing, I do want to make an announcement about Dr. Barber. As you can see with our hybrid schedule and how our guests are choosing to attend online, Dr. Barber has had an unforeseen circumstance and is unable to be here on the 17th. He has already rescheduled that date on April the 13th. You will, if you have not already received the information, it will be coming out again, but he is definitely excited about coming back to Indianapolis, and he has a word for you. I also have a request, because since you're writing a book about relationships, maybe we can come back and have a conversation about husband and wife. I'd like to
I am definitely coming back here to have that conversation.
Thank
for
you.
sure.
Thank you.
Sure.
I want to also thank all of our sponsors. Yes. Yes, our next, so we've got 2 speakers and we've got promos that'll come up. So March the 24th, if you have not already received your book, we're reading the book now, Sister Citizen. It's in the back if you haven't gotten it. There's a common read that we have online on Facebook. We'll be starting that conversation. IUPUI, Dr. Shabazz is leading that conversation. Please, please, please sign up. It is a great conversation. The first 2 chapters have just been enlightening. So get the book and prepare for March 24th when Dr. Melissa Harris Perry will be here in Indianapolis. I also, again, want to thank our sponsors. IUPUI as the title sponsor. Thank you for changing the lives of minorities in our city. You are the largest campus that has the most minorities here in Indiana, and we appreciate and applaud you for everything that you do. Wabash, again, we couldn't do this work without you. CICF, Lumina Foundation, U.S. Customs, Lilly Endowment. Please, the list of the full sponsors are in the book, but thank you all so much. You are the reason that we're able to continue to have this conversation for 36 years. We've got some hashtags, hashtag Steward Speakers, hashtag More Than Just Talk. If you took a picture, you took a note, write it down, tweet it out, put it on Facebook. This was an amazing conversation. We will make sure that the full video is available online on our social media pages. Gertin, I hope you heard that. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Matthew, I just want to say thank you. We talk about our purpose. Thank you for following your purpose and continuing this conversation for 36 years. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
At what point did it become intolerable for us to think about young people having to grow up next to other people who may at any point cause them harm unto the death? Because quite honestly, that's like Tuesday for me. And I'm telling you this not to harangue you, but hopefully to give you hope about the fact that this is not a brand new situation.
The truth of the matter is, my brothers and sisters, you cannot talk about labor rights and not talk about civil rights. You can't talk about racial justice and not talk about economic injustice as well.